This is Billy Williams from Burst Radio, and I am with the Jeremy Vine from Radio 2 fame. Good trip down here, Jeremy?
Great trip opposite my friend John Myers, who's standing over there. He's now gone into another room, and the sun was shining and everyone was polite.
So, Jeremy, you're here for the Radio Academy event. Tell us how you've been involved with that. I know you've been in the radio business since you first appeared on the age of 12, I believe.
Yeah, well, you're right. I was a 12-year-old and I used to listen to the radio, and I went up to London because the Capital Radio in London had something called the Young DJ slot, and I asked if I could be the young DJ, and they said yes, so I went on this show, and I went into Capital Radio, this big staircase in the middle. Roger Scott was in one of the cubicles, Maggie Norden was doing the show I was on, and at the age of 12 I thought, this is what I want to do. And I said to my mum, you know, what about if I could play records for a living? And she said, no, that's not really grown up enough. And then at the age of 37 I then started playing records for a living on Radio 2.
So, what would you say you prefer, either radio or TV, or do you not have preference?
I don't know, I think television is impact and radio is intimate.
Yeah.
Television is a splash, radio is a conversation. Television, you've got to do one good show, radio you've got to do 10,000. So they're completely different. I think for longevity, if you want to have a job for a long time, you probably should look at the radio actually. It's just, the relationship's different. You know, people get tired of what they're watching very quickly on TV, whereas on radio it's almost the opposite. They almost want it to stay the way it is for a long time.
Cool. Right, so I've got some quick fire questions for you now.
I thought those were the quick fire questions.
Favourite other person that's called Jeremy?
I've got to say Jeremy Paxman. That's the best question I've ever been asked, because if I don't say that, I'm in trouble. Go on.
I will have to give credit to my station manager, Will.
That's a very good question.
Most, well, not annoying, I don't want to say annoying, but person you find hardest to work with from the Eggheads team?
Well, CJ's gone now, so it's probably still CJ, even though he's left.
Okay, Champions League final or fourth place, which would you rather have?
Champions League
final.
Oh, I see what you mean, fourth place in the league. Champions League final, no question.
Drogba retired.
Drogba.
Favourite country you've ever worked in?
What continent is Africa? Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone. Also, you did I know you did a really good piece on the Newsnight for the South Africa thing. Can you just tell us a little bit about that? I know that you got a lot of critical acclaim for it.
Well, this was a person came into our office on an EU placement called Cecilia. She was looking for work. I wanted to do something with the South African police, where crime is very violent in Johannesburg. I said to her, why don't you follow the police, because we hadn't got the staff to do it. She took a very small camera and she was with the police for 2 weeks, and these tapes from her in the back of the police car piled up on the desk, and no one looked at them, of course. And one day I was sitting in the office thinking, I'm going to look at Cecilia's tapes, and I took them in and they were unbelievable. They showed all the police pulling off over the criminals and beating them up and setting dogs on them and everything. And so Cecilia, her safety was in danger slightly. She couldn't do the piece, I did the piece. And yeah, I suppose in a way it was, funny enough, a career highlight, because Nelson Mandela had to give a press conference saying, clearly there is a question about the mental health of the police in this country, and it will have to be investigated, and 22 officers were suspended and all sorts. The funny postscript to it actually was that a guy rang me and said, can you come and see me this afternoon? I want to tell you something about your story. White guy, had been in a hijack, gun pressed to his head, trigger pulled, it just clicked, they drove off in the car, they're chased by the police, Cecilia's in the back of the police car, they're beaten up by the police, and he's saying to me, right, who's in the right? And I'm thinking, now you've really put me on the spot. And I just thought it's lucky that journalists don't really have to decide.
Yeah, I suppose for your Radio 2 show, do you ever find it hard to kind of keep your opinions to yourself? Like when you get, I mean, I've listened to it at work a couple of times, and you do have the odd caller that must test your patience every now and then.
Yeah, and it's it's a big issue, is to what extent you can have views. And my theory about it, having done it for 8 years now, is you can have values but not views. So you can believe that something is generally good or generally bad, but try not to get stuck into the actual detail of any particular story, because that's when it goes wrong. So in broad terms, I can believe that litter is terrible, but I can't denounce dirty hospitals because that's political.
Yeah.
And the line is that fine. You know, I wouldn't, if I'm in, you mustn't also codify it, so you mustn't write down what you're in favour of. If I say I'm in favour of life, someone will then come over and say, so you're against abortion. So after a long time I've worked out I must have values, but I must never really know what they are.
Okay, that's a bit more light-hearted stuff. Cats or dogs?
Dogs, every time.
Do you have any dogs?
No.
Had you got knocked off your bike or fell off your bike?
I had a I had a 1 mile an hour collision, and I was actually disappointed that my bike wasn't damaged because I've got nothing to show for it. But there was some confusion about whether the driver was allowed to turn right as I went down the road, and he believed he was. And so I had to help him out on that matter before proceeding.
So would you rather bike, you're a cyclist, or would you prefer to drive around if London wasn't quite so bad?
I'm only a recent cyclist, so I've only just started cycling, so anyone who hates cyclists is watching. It's not me that's doing it. I do think cycling in London is great because unlike Bristol it's very flat. You can go a very long way as long as you don't die, and that's the problem. And also people do really hate cyclists, so I try and stop everywhere. And just day before yesterday, which was the day I was not knocked off, but I was impeded, let's say, by a car which is travelling in the opposite direction in the same lane as me. I was going down this little thing in Hyde Park, and there's a chicane, and it's got a sign saying "Cyclist dismount," which cyclists can't understand. Those two words together, they don't understand what they mean. And I dismounted, and as I went past this guy in a fluorescent jacket, he said, "I've been standing here for 3 hours, and you're only the second person to get off." And I thought, okay, I'm clearly not fully a cyclist yet, because I read the sign correctly.
So, as a radio DJ, favourite type of music? What would be your last song you'd want to play on the radio if you were to retire?
If I was to retire, the last song,
it was your choice.
Probably be something like that got me the sack, because I was being sacked anyway, so it would have to be something with the F word in the title. No, I think I'd play Digital by Joy Division, if it was really my last record.
This has been requested by one of our committee members. What's your favourite cheese?
I'm very bad on cheeses because I don't know the names, I just eat all of them.
We have Dairy Lee and Baby Bell Chapter around when we were
Dairy Lee?
So
no, Stilton. Something with blue in it, yeah. Something really mouldy.
And finally, is your brother really funnier than you?
Is my brother... I have all the straight lines. Yeah, my brother, it's an amazing story. He's written 1,000 jokes. Whenever I tell them, I massacre them. So when he says, my friend had an ambition to be run over by a steam train, when it happened, he was chuffed to bits. I can't tell that joke and make people laugh, and I don't understand why it is. It's very, very frustrating, actually. He's always trying out jokes. And I've written one joke for him in his whole career, which was, I was reading a book about glue, I couldn't put it down. And it's a rubbish joke.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's all. Jeremy's going to be going downstairs now to go down with John Myers for the Radio Company event. But thank you very much, Jeremy.
Thank you very much.
This has been Billy Williams for Burst Radio.
Cheers, Billy.